Consider a story so old that its origins are lost to time, a narrative first pressed into wet clay millennia before the birth of Homer or the construction of the pyramids. This is the Epic of Gilgamesh, humanity's oldest known literary work. For centuries, it lay buried in the ruins of Mesopotamian cities, its secrets waiting in fragments of tablet and stone. The world it describes is one of gods who walk the earth, of monstrous guardians and distant mystical lands. Yet, at its heart, it is a profoundly human story. It follows the transformation of a king, Gilgamesh, from a tyrant intoxicated by his own power into a man humbled by loss and awakened to the true responsibilities of leadership and the fleeting nature of life. This is not merely a relic, it is a mirror. Across 4,000 years, the epic explores themes of friendship, the anguish of grief, the hunger for legacy, and the search for meaning. Questions that resonate as deeply today as they did in the ancient world. As we journey through this summary, we will trace Gilgamesh's path, discovering why this timeless tale continues to speak to us. Chapter 1. The Story Beneath the Sands. The physical story of Gilgamesh is one of loss and rediscovery. For over 2 millennia, the epic was entirely forgotten, its existence unknown. It was only in the mid-19th century that archaeologists, excavating the library of an Assyrian king in what is now Iraq, began to unearth the broken clay tablets that held the poem. The process of piecing them together was like solving a colossal, ancient puzzle. The epic emerged from Mesopotamia, the fertile land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. It is written in several ancient languages, including Akkadian and Babylonian, and the most complete version we have dates to around 1200 BCE. However, the legend itself is far older, likely based on a historical king who ruled the city of Uruk around 2700 BCE. The story's preservation and transmission are a testament to its importance in the ancient world. Scribes meticulously copied it, and traders carried it across the Near East. Its modern translation caused a sensation, particularly when scholars realized it contained a flood narrative strikingly similar to the story of Noah, yet predating it by centuries. The epic provides a direct window into the minds of our earliest ancestors, revealing their literary sophistication and their timeless preoccupation with the human condition. Chapter 2. The King and the Wild Man. The epic begins not with a hero, but with a despot. Gilgamesh, the king of Uruk, is 2/3 god and 1/3 man, possessing immense strength and beauty. However, he uses these gifts to oppress his people, claiming the right to any bride on her wedding night and exhausting the city's young men with his relentless demands for sport and labor. The citizens of Uruk, despairing, cry out to the gods for relief. In response, the gods create a counterpart for Gilgamesh, Enkidu, a wild man formed from clay. Enkidu lives among the animals, innocent of human society. To civilize him and draw him into conflict with the king, the gods send a temple priestess named Shamhat. Through her, Enkidu loses his innocence but gains knowledge and reason. Learning of Gilgamesh's tyranny, Enkidu travels to Uruk to challenge him. Their meeting erupts into a titanic battle at the city gates. They fight with equal fury, shaking the very walls of Uruk. But when neither can gain victory, their rage turns into profound respect. The fight ends not with a victor, but with the birth of a deep and powerful friendship. This bond becomes the catalyst for Gilgamesh's transformation, curbing his cruel impulses and giving his immense energy a new, positive direction. Chapter 3. The Quest and Its Cost. United, Gilgamesh and Enkidu seek a great adventure to cement their fame. They decide to journey to the distant Cedar Forest to slay its fearsome guardian, Humbaba, a monster appointed by the gods. Despite Enkidu's misgivings about defying divine will, Gilgamesh is determined. After a long and perilous journey, they confront Humbaba. In a fierce struggle, the two friends overcome the beast. As Humbaba begs for his life, Gilgamesh, urged on by Enkidu, shows no mercy and kills him. This act of defiance seals their fate. The gods, angered by the killing of their guardian and the desecration of the sacred forest, decree that one of the friends must die. They choose Enkidu, who is struck with a severe and wasting illness. Gilgamesh watches helplessly as his beloved friend suffers for 12 days before dying. Enkidu's death shatters Gilgamesh. For the first time, he is confronted not with an enemy he can fight, but with the inescapable reality of mortality. His grief is compounded by a terrifying realization. If Enkidu could die, so can he, despite his divine heritage. This sparks a new, desperate quest. Abandoning his throne, Gilgamesh sets out to find Utnapishtim, the only mortal ever granted eternal life, determined to win the same prize for himself. Chapter 4: The Search for Eternity. Gilgamesh's journey to find Utnapishtim takes him to the very edges of the world. He traverses dark mountains guarded by scorpion beings and follows the path of the sun through a tunnel of utter darkness. He finally reaches the shore of a distant sea where he meets Siduri, a tavern keeper. She offers him the first piece of true wisdom on his journey, to accept his mortality and find joy in the simple human pleasures of life, family, friendship, and daily work. But Gilgamesh, consumed by fear, ignores her advice. He eventually finds Utnapishtim, who reveals the secret of his immortality. He and his wife were the sole survivors of a great flood sent by the gods to destroy humanity, and as a reward for preserving life, they were granted eternal life. Utnapishtim challenges Gilgamesh to stay awake for 6 days and 7 nights, a simple test of his mortal limitations. Exhausted, Gilgamesh fails immediately, falling into a deep sleep. As a final consolation, Utnapishtim tells Gilgamesh of a plant at the bottom of the sea that can restore youth. Gilgamesh retrieves the plant, but on his journey home, he stops to bathe. A serpent, drawn by the plant's scent, steals it and immediately sheds its skin, renewing itself. With this last hope gone, Gilgamesh sits down and weeps. He must now accept that immortality is beyond his grasp. Chapter 5: The Wisdom of Acceptance. Gilgamesh returns to Uruk a changed man. His quest for eternal life has ended in failure, but in that failure, he has found a deeper understanding. As he approaches the massive walls of his city, he sees them not as a monument to his own glory, but as the enduring legacy of his people, a community he is now sworn to protect and serve. He realizes that while physical immortality is impossible for humans, a different kind of permanence exists. It is found in what we build, in the stories we leave behind, and in the lives we touch. The memory of his friendship with Enkidu becomes a form of immortality. The just rule of his city and the prosperity of his people become his lasting achievement. The very epic he commands to be written on clay tablets ensures that his journey and its hard-won lessons will endure for millennia. Gilgamesh's transformation is complete. He has moved from a tyrant who took life for granted to a wise king who understands the precious, fleeting nature of existence. His story becomes a guide for how to live, not in a frantic search to avoid death, but in creating a meaningful life that will be remembered. Conclusion: a legacy for the ages. The Epic of Gilgamesh endures because it is a foundational human document. It is the first great story to grapple with the universal experiences of friendship, loss, and the fear of death. Gilgamesh's journey from arrogance to wisdom is a path that, in many ways, every person must walk. The main takeaway from this ancient tale is that a meaningful life is not measured by its length, but by its depth. True immortality is found in the connections we forge, the contributions we make to our community, and the wisdom we pass on to future generations. Gilgamesh's quest for eternal life ultimately teaches him how to live fully within the time he is given, a lesson that has echoed for 4,000 years and continues to offer guidance and solace today. It is not how long we live, but how well we live with the time we have. That concludes the book summary for this episode. Hopefully the discussion opened up new insights for you. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.